Hey, what's up, y'all? What's poppin'? Is D about to react to this Nicki Swift video. This is called The Tragic Story of Wrestling Star Sasha Banks Is Just Plain Sad. Damn. That sounds pretty harsh. What's so sad about it? I don't know about her story, but, we're going to see exactly, what makes this so sad. Let's watch.
Most of Sasha Banks' wrestling fans know the basics about her, including the fact that rapper Snoop Dogg is her first cousin. After making a name for herself on the independent circuit, she eventually transformed into a world wrestling entertainment superstar. But there's much more to her story than that, and it hasn't always been pretty. Here are some things you may not know about Sasha Banks' tragic story. During a candid interview on the Making Their Way to the Ring podcast, Banks claimed that throughout her childhood she feared her father, who she claims was abusive towards her mother. By the time she turned 2, he had allegedly left their family in the dust to start a new life in Oregon. Yeah. Banks, her mother, and her autistic brother traveled across the United States in search of a better life. By the time she was 11 or 12 years old, her mom broke the news that they would be relocating from Iowa to Oregon to be closer to her father and try to get some support from him.
And I'm like, help us. He's never helped us before. Why are we going there now?
She explained that her father, who happens to be Snoop Dogg's uncle, owned a restaurant and a record label, yet he still never helped support his daughter.
So he has money. Yeah. But he's never helped. He's never paid one thing of child support, anything.
Banks claimed she was, quote, miserable and depressed during that time, and it apparently didn't take long for her mom to realize that old habits die hard.
Finally, my mom's like, he's not helping us. So we packed our stuff. We left.
The family of 3 left Oregon and proceeded to bounce around in search of a school suitable for her autistic brother. Banks told the Making Their Way to the Ring podcast that her brother had experienced abuse in some of his previous educational settings, and once they arrived in Minnesota, things didn't get much better. Her mother was unemployed. They lived in a hotel room for years, and Banks said she was relentlessly teased at school about her appearance. When her mom finally landed a job, Banks made a bold decision at the age of 13 to quit school and take online courses so she could become her brother's full-time caregiver, a decision that forced her to grow up incredibly fast.
I don't know what a childhood is.
How the hell she getting wrestling?
My teenage years, I never went to prom. I never really had a boyfriend. I knew nothing.
Because she was willing to make such a huge sacrifice, Banks did ask her mom for one thing in return.
I told my mom, I'll do anything for this family. Just give me wrestling. Just give me wrestling.
Banks is very open when it comes to talking about the struggles she faced during her childhood, but one topic that she hasn't always been forthcoming about is her marriage to former wrestler and WWE costume designer Kid Mikaze. It wasn't until her March 2017 interview with Making Their Way to the Ring that she finally let the cat out of the bag.
You're the first everyone I admitted it to. I am married. I just hide it because our fans are so crazy sometimes.
She's referring to those so-called fans online, otherwise known as trolls, who try to contact and harass her man on Twitter.
If you're saying he's ugly or, he shouldn't be with me because of this or that, that hurts me.
Banks wasn't always making the big bucks for her show-stopping performances in the ring. There was once a time when she was forced to take whatever scraps she was offered. During an interview with First We Feast's Hot Ones, Banks answered a series of questions about her life and career, and she had a thing or two to say about, in her words, scummy promoters who made her early wrestling days difficult. When asked what she doesn't miss the most about the independent wrestling circuit, she said,
I don't miss getting paid $25 or getting paid by just getting a slice of pizza. It was legit. Either you get pizza or a hot dog or you get $25.
Those days are now in her rearview mirror. As of 2018, this boss was no longer trading pizza for suplexes, reportedly ranking in a salary of $225,000 a year, according to Sportskeeda. The WWE's Women's Tag Team Championship was established in December 2018, and Sasha Banks and Bayley, better known as the Boss and Hug Connection, became the inaugural champions by winning an Elimination Chamber match in January 2019. But this title might not have happened if it weren't for Banks. She told Sky Sports that Vince McMahon had to be convinced that bringing women's tag team titles to the WWE was a good idea. So she and Bayley went to work. She explained, it felt like the whole of last year we were asking, like we would be knocking on the door of Vince's office every week. She went on to say that McMahon would frequently flip-flop on his answer and change his mind from one week to the next. In the end, he gave the title the green light, of course, and the whole ordeal taught Banks a valuable lesson. She said, if you're annoying enough, you can make things happen, and that's probably what happened. He just got annoyed with us.
That is really surprising that she only makes $225,000 a year when, you have these other wrestlers making millions. But, hey, it is what it is. Maybe they feel like she not as popping, I guess. But goddamn, that's crazy. That's not a lot. Okay. Anyway, this was a cool video. This was interesting to know. I, obviously knew none of this stuff because I don't know much about Sasha Banks. I don't like the way they have this title set up though. The tragic story of wrestling star Sasha Banks is just plain sad. Like, it just comes across as like, oh, you pitiful. It doesn't come across like, oh, this is her sad story and she prevailed and, she, overcame her obstacles. It's just like, oh, damn. Like, it comes across like they think her story is pathetic or pitiful or something. Like, I don't know. The title is just kind of weird. But let me know what y'all thought about this video, though. Let me know what other videos you want me to react to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.